Hello, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be making my Dollar Tree Christmas journal. Yeah, kind of getting a little late start on this, but I have quite a few other journals that I had to work on before I could start on this. As usual, I'm going to go ahead and put some timestamps in this video because I'm really not quite sure how long it's going to take and whether or not I want to throw in the cover and maybe some decorating. I don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see what time allows. But the first thing I need to do is, this is going to be part of the cover. Let me grab a couple of journals. I'll be right back. So in case you haven't seen some of my other videos on how I make these journals, I thought I'd show you kind of the process a little bit. Once I put it together, it'll look like this, and then I'll use some bubble mailer and some fabric to cover it. So that's how these usually that's kind of the process. So let me get started on the cover. Hopefully this will work out. It's going to be a little loud. I may have to mute this. We'll see. So you want to look for yeah, here it is. You want to look for where it's glued together. Oopsie. And tear that apart, which isn't always easy. Okay, so on these two, I regretted this type of tuck. I don't like that. I like the bottom pocket like that. So that's the way I'm going to be making this one. And even though I'm making this a little bit late in the season, I'm going to be reusing this for a few years going forward with this project. Yeah, that's the mistake I made on the first one, is I went with the creases that were already in the bag, and then yeah, it took a lot to get it straightened out again. Let me see. But it is just a paper sack journal. It doesn't have to be perfect unless you're going to be selling them, which that's a whole different kettle of fish. Okay, so how did I do that before? I wanted it like, I think what I did before is I think I cut this. Let me grab my scissors. All right, these are my favorite scissors here. I'm gonna cut to that point, and then I'm gonna cut at an angle. Uh-oh. What did I do wrong? I did something. I think it was a... Yeah, now I've got that. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Little unorthodox. Just, you know, to be honest with you, I bet you there's a better way of doing this, and I just didn't think it through very well. But this is actually the way I did it before. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't understand. Why did I do that? Because now I'm going to cut that, right? Okay, that looks about right. Okay, I think every time I make one of these, it's different. Just a little sliver at the top and here. Just so it doesn't hang over. All right, that's a good start. Let me get cleaned up and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's see what we can do with pages. I have, this is just some construction paper, and I played around with these envelopes. I found these in my inspiration books that I bought at the Dollar Tree. I tea-dyed those a little bit. Some color pages of a cathedral. I thought those were kind of Christmassy. Very green, very Christmassy. And again, some more tea-dyed Christmas card envelopes. And just some miscellaneous paper. I think this is parchment paper, and then just some scribble paper, and I don't remember what this was from. I think I bought a roll of some paper. I don't remember what paper that was, but it is from the Dollar Tree. Right now, I'm kind of drawing a blank. Okay, so this is the size we need. So I'm going to start with the Christmas paper. And I did try tea dyeing it, and it didn't do much to it, so. And I love this side. I love these lines. It's going to make it a little bit easier for me to make it fit. So the journal is, let's look again, 8.5. So if I make my pages 8, that ought to do it. So let's grab my ruler. Okay. This one right here is 8. Do I want to go that way? Yeah, let's go this way. We'll go that way. Now that's a lot, that's a big pocket right there. I don't think I need a pocket that big. I don't want every one of my pages to be a pocket. Let's see what this does. All right, well, I'm going to continue to fold and measure and cut, and either I'll speed it up or meet you on the other side. So I really don't want to keep measuring over and over again. So what I'm going to do is each one of these needs to be 14.5. Let's make sure where we're at here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this one is 15. Wait, hold on. Yeah, this one's about 15. Let's double check this. Because, yeah, this is what I do to myself every time. So this is at 15. So I definitely want it to be 14.5. I'll just cut that one down. Wait, that's the right one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this out at 14.5, and I'm going to put tape on here because redoing this, remeasuring these every single time, because I'm going to have to kind of jimmy rig them just a little bit. Okay, let's see if that'll help. All right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna slide these into each other like this. I'm gonna put glue on this part and hope that I'm doing this right. It's been a while since I've done this. But I want to keep these pockets. Okay, not the easiest, right? But worth it in the long run, hopefully. All right. I'm sure there's another way of doing this that's a lot easier, like maybe taking the envelopes apart, but I think I did it. I think I did it. I did it. Now, I understand that this grungy look isn't everybody's cup of tea, but once I get it decorated, I just really like that I don't always have to ink as much when I tea dye, and it strengthens the paper a little bit only because it shrinks it. So, I mean, I could be wrong about that, but it just feels different once it's dried. So, all right, let's see if I can do it a second time. Now I'm going to try maybe doing them at the same time, seeing if that'll work. Okay, I got that one, I think. Oh, didn't get that one. Oh, well. Here we go again. See. Ah, I did it. Oh, yay. Okay, let that dry. All right, I have a habit of making too many pages in my journals, is what one of my issues is. And sorry about all the reaching, but I keep throwing things in that direction for some reason. Now, I don't know. I should count my pages. Let's see. So each one of these is going to be 4, right? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's going to be 44 pages, I think. Is that going to be enough? I might as well use everything up. Okay, so I've trimmed all of the bits off the tops, or if they hung over a little bit too much like that, I'll snip that one. I can probably get a hold of that. It's awfully small, but I just kind of went through and trimmed and erased some of the pencil marks that once the glue dried, you could see. But I'm not too worried about that because a lot of times I'll put tape or I'll glue something else over this seam to make it a bit stronger anyway, so that's not an issue. So what I want to do now is get my cover open and figure out what I want to be the first page, you know, second page, kind of do the orders of the pages. I'm just going to kind of flip through them, look at them, kind of come up with a plan. And I don't know if I need to really chit-chat too much through this. I think I'm going to go ahead and put on some music and kind of try to think about what I'm doing. So what usually works for me is a lot of times, see, I have two that are the same. So what I'll do is I'll make two piles and then I'll throw them together randomly. It's just this, it just seems to work out better that way. So I've got two of those, throw those together. Let me throw this one down. I know I've got another one of these somewhere. Here we go. Okay. Make sure it's all going in the right direction real quick before I sew it. Okay. Let's see. Get this guy in there and push down. Make sure everything is covered. If it isn't, I can always make the fabric cover a little bit bigger. It's not a huge deal. So these are the needles I'm going to be using. They're yarn darner needles. I get them at Walmart. They don't carry them at the Dollar Tree, but they're only, I think they're less than $2 or at $2. These are something I showed in my in one of my previous videos as far as like tools. Let me get those out of there. I'm keeping all of my packaging like this to make tags out of. And I'm keeping most of my cellophane, but not ones this small, but my larger ones to kind of organize with. Let's see. That one's kind of small. I think I'm going to go with this bigger one. Let's see. And then I'm going to be using just some Dollar Tree baker's twine. Now, there's lots and lots of videos out there on how to do this correctly. I am not super picky about the sewing because I put a cover on it. So I'm just going to do enough to hold all my pages together. I'm just going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch instead of a 5. Hopefully that'll be okay. So let's see. Now, since I already have my ruler in there, and this thing's 8, 4 is right about there. Okay, let's get the ruler out. Okay, I've never used one of these before for this, so hopefully this will work out okay. Oh yeah, it's going through. It's actually working really, really well. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do is go in this direction and have my ties on the outside of my journal. Okay, so that'll hold it for now. And what I'll do is I usually try to go about 1.5 inches, 2 inches in. Let's see, there's 1 inch. Yeah, that ought to do it. So put it up there. Put it up there. And I'm going to grab some clips real quick and see if that might help me a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get a hole in. There's a lot of pages in this journal. That's a big needle. Okay. Pull it this way a little bit. Try to get some like that. And then what I try to do is grab it over here and clamp it down. Okay. Now I'm going to need to come over to this side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my hole from the inside there. So you can see it. Pull that through. And then put it through this hole again, but try to get it on the other side of this right here. What'd I do? What'd I do? Aha! There we go. Okay. Okay, so once you've got it, you can tie it here. But you want to try to get a little bit of tightness. Wait. I don't want to do that one. I want to do this one. And kind of pull it just a little tight, not too tight so that you're tearing your paper. But I'm going to go ahead and just do 1/2 of a square knot and make sure that's probably going to be good enough. Okay, so what I'm going to be using, I usually use the recyclable bags from Amazon for this, but I've tried this already with these bubble mailers from the Dollar Tree, Jot, and they work just as good, I think. So let me show you how I do this. Open it up. So it's almost the same size, so I'm going to try really hard to open this up to where I'm not tearing it up too much. So I'm going to just... It's going to be going between, you know what though? I just realized it's going to be going between fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just cut that off because I'm tearing this up too much. Here we go. Let's go this way. Just along here, just to get it started. Like I said, it's going between 2 pieces of fabric. I don't know why I'm torturing myself like that. Okay. Oh, voila, look at that. Okay. Put her in there. I'm going to cut this part off because I want all that bubble. I want it to be kind of even. I'm afraid that if I don't do that, then it won't look the same. Give it a crease so you know where you're at. Flip it. And then I'm going to line it up on my mat. Don't move, don't move. Oh, I can't cut in a straight line, people. Okay, let's see if I did okay on this. Come on. That crease is giving me grief. Let's see. I would like it to be about the same size as the... I'm going to get a pen. I'll see if a pen will help me on this. See, look at how crooked that is, even though I had it on the line. Goodness sakes. Okay, let's see if that'll... Yeah, I can kind of see it. There, okay, that's better. Now, I'll show you the fabric that I chose. Look, this is a placemat. I think I showed this to you in my Dollar Tree project video. I'm not going to want this hem because I want it to be rough. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. So I'm going to want to cut the lining to the same measurements as the outside. Now, I'm going to be using, I have two options here. I haven't made a journal in my life that hasn't needed some sort of structure to hold it down yet. So I bought these strips of fabric, Christmas fabric, thinking that maybe they would make a nice tie. But I don't know. Let's see. It's still wet, but I was going to use this for the tie. But if this was half like this, let me iron it. For some reason, I'm liking this. It's making it look festive. If I could just get a good enough bow out of this, I would be really, really tickled. Now, one of the things I like to do, and not everybody has these, but it works for me. I bought these pinking shears at a thrift store a few years back. And they might take just the right amount. Pinking shears are so difficult for me to use. I don't know if you struggle with them, but if you do it on this particular type of, you need to get the fabric kind. You're not going to be able to use craft scissors for this. It looks a little bit ragged, but I like that. You could use regular scissors and probably just fine. I think the fabric is a little bit damp from the glue still. But this is how I do things anyways, kind of rough. I'm going to be sewing mine because that's just the way I roll. If I didn't have a sewing machine, I would just add more glue here. It would be really easy just to run a bead along there and glue it all together. Okay, I'm going to be sewing this tie on, and the way you want to measure it on here to make sure that you have it to where you can tie it is you bring it up this way. Let me just turn it a little bit. And you kind of bring it into the middle to where those are going to be even. Just in case you've never done this before. Then I'm going to measure it real quick and make sure that I'm going to get it in the middle as much as possible. 1.5. That's actually really good. So, all right. So that's where I want to sew it. So I'm going to grab a pin. Pin. Here we go. And pin it there. And then I'm just going to do a straight stitch back and forth a few times and attach it. Okay. So I sewed it around. I used brown because I thought it looked really nice since it looks like a little bit of brown highlights, and I didn't feel like changing my thread. So twofold winning. So here is the front. I made sure, wait, let me make sure. Yeah, that's the front. I wanted to see those. Let me show you this real quick. I was thinking of that would look really pretty on there somehow. But I think it's going to be a hassle. Like when I go to put it away, it's always going to bump in. I'd like to be able to just throw these on shelves. And yeah, that looks really pretty, but I think I'm going to have to take a pass on that. So I'm going to glue this in, but I want to make sure I'm doing it the right way. It looks like I am. So, and this glue is really forgiving. So what I'm going to do is glue the back. Okay, it looks like I put enough of this ribbony stuff on there to close it with a little bit of a bow. We'll have to wait and see when it gets bigger. If I have to expand it or change it out somehow, that's no big deal for me. One thing I do want to say is that I tea dyed this fabric. It used to be really, really bright, and I'm really glad I did that because I think it matches really nice. So one thing that I want to point out real quick is that when I opened this earlier, it was crooked. It was going kind of down this way, you know, it was doing this thing. So it was still wet. So I peeled it off. And what I did was I closed it, pressed it down a bit, opened it back up to see if I had done it straight. And then I didn't. So I had to redo it. So I just kind of had to fuss with it a little bit, but, I didn't do that in one of my previous journals, and I was really disappointed. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out to you. So I have a pocket here, which is great. First page, some parchment paper glued onto some construction paper, wrapping paper, and I'll be closing that up later. I don't have to show you that. That's pretty cut and dry. Just some scribble paper, construction paper, page out of one of the books I purchased at the Dollar Tree, an extension with a pocket here. Might have to put a little bit of glue in there, that's fine. And then this is from a coloring book, a little bit of a cathedral, graph paper, scribble paper, envelope, wrapping paper, another photo from that book that I purchased. So one of the things that I will be doing is putting tape along some of these just because I like the way it looks. And I'll do the same thing in here. So this page may look to you like after a couple of turns, it's going to maybe work its way out of there. And it could. So let me show you something real quick. I saved all the bits and pieces from what I cut off. And what I will do is I'll take, this is from the bag. It's kind of heavy, but I can use it in places. But a lot of these papers are really thin. So a paper like this, I could cut this in half and just glue it on there for strength. I do it all the time. I picked up a lot of these ideas from Meg Journals, and she makes these beautiful journals that she puts all these different, all inclusions and just all kinds of fun stuff in hers. And that's one of the things that she does. And I just love watching her videos. So I've been doing it and I just love it. Envelope, cathedral, more of the same from what you've already seen, but I just thought I'd go ahead and flip through the rest of it. I love this paper. So I was thinking that it would be fun to be able to include a project, like, you know, a decorating project in this video, but this is going on a little bit longer than I thought it would. So in my next video in this series, I'll be doing a little bit of decor in here. I'm coming up with a couple of plans. And so, yeah, that'll be fun. But yeah, I don't want to go too long on this. This right here, from when I took it apart, I'm going to go ahead and either patch that or glue that down. But there it is. There is my new Dollar Tree Christmas journal. I'm going to be working in this for the next few years that I'm doing this series, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it inspired you to look around your local dollar store, Dollar Tree, and pick up a few things. This journal is one I make a lot and can be translated to your everyday journals all the time. Let me grab mine. I love this thing already. I just do. This is some ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I think it's upside down. Hopefully that's upside down. Yeah, it was. But this is fabric from the Dollar Tree. I could make it fit on both sides. I use the heck out of this thing. And this is where I do a lot of my practicing, you know, my ideas that I want to sketch out. Of course, I'm using other things other than just Dollar Tree items in these journals, as I said in my the beginning of this series. But I'm able to kind of have fun and just experiment and come up with ideas. And you're limited with how much you can do with some of the things that you find there, but sometimes limitations can really spark imagination. And this is one of the things that I've been doing. This is from an old tablecloth, and I made a bunch of these just from some scraps of paper. I made this with just the paper from the Dollar Tree, and I love it. It is so adorable. And this is actually my Dollar Tree planner, and I sewed some of their lace on there. This is some lace from Dollar Tree. I don't know if they have it anymore. I haven't been able to find it. This is just some paper from one of the paper bags like this one. These are some Post-its from the Dollar Tree. And yeah, so this is going to be all Dollar Tree, all ideas, just all kinds of fun things that I'm hoping that I'm going to be sharing with you going forward. And yeah, well, I hope you like this video. I hope you'll try some of this stuff out, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.